At first glance, this might look like a robot vacuum. But compared to a Roomba, this doesn't suck. Come on, do something. Not only that, the KingSong 14D Pro is much faster than a robot vacuum, and in addition to that, it's much better than its predecessor, the 14D. Don't worry, I got my drone back, and I enjoy the KingSong 14D Pro a lot. So today, I'm gonna tell you more about this. Broadway. First up, huge thanks to MyEwheel for letting me test this wheel out, and a bit brighter, and check it out for quite a while. If you want to get a wheel like this in Europe, feel free to check out their site. It's linked in the description. I should have done this video really a long time ago. It's long overdue, so stuff happens, long pipeline of reviews, so that's why we do it today. Full disclosure here, this is not my personal wheel. I just got it loaned by MyEwheel and then I'll send it away. And all of the opinions in this video are strictly my own. And if this wheel is full of shite, you'll find out about it. And if it's the first time on my channel, feel free to drop a like, subscribe. And if you haven't ever seen an electric unicycle before, then just comment Roomba. I think this wheel is quintessential micromobility. It's small, it's portable, it's great in all weather, it's not that expensive, and in this form factor and this weight, it's hard to get more micro. And even with the original 14D being released, well, over 5 years ago, I still do think that this form factor is very important in the electric unicycle market. It comes equipped with a marijuana-sized battery, 420 watt-hours, which should give you a range of between 20 to 30 kilometers, a top speed of 30 kilometers an hour, and actually plenty of torque. What is this torque for? Well, if you have a steep incline, you just can't get up the incline. This is something that even e-bikes struggle with. 14D Pro does this exceptionally well. Alright, so this is my 25-degree incline. I don't think there'll be any issues either. Plenty of power reserve actually on this wheel. Unthinkable in the scooter world at this price. Backwards, no problem. Very smooth actually. And you do need that torque in order to stay upright on the wheel. So for heavier riders, jumping from the 14D to the 14D Pro, you will feel a lot more power reserve on this wheel. And if you're coming from a scooter like this Bolt scooter, well, you are in for a treat, because the 14D Pro, well, I had to test the maximum incline level, and it's as steep as the Nami Bernie scooter. Check this out.
How was your ride? Bad. Just don't like it, really.
Alright, so I wasn't thinking I would be going here. This is my 35-degree incline. Without pads, without knee pads, so not a good idea. So let's do it, I guess. And just for reference, this is the scooter in question. I know this video is ages old, but still, it just goes to show you that we are comparing a like 40, 50 kilogram scooter with like, I don't know, 5,000 watts of power to a 14 kilo Roomba. And then with my phone in my hand, so very, very genius. So I can actually speak to the microphone. Let's see if it goes up. 35. Oh my god, it does. I went up at 35-degree slope on the 14D. Okay, time to go down, I guess. And on the Nami, I didn't go down. Insane. Okay, the Pro is definitely stronger than the 14D. Oh my god, that's actually very crazy. At this slow speed, I'm genuinely very impressed. Very, very impressed. Don't be expecting to always use up the 25-kilometer range. I mean, usually you just get this thing around the block, like 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers tops. If you want to go further, I mean, just use something else. This is not that comfortable. But hey, if you are really committed, you can do it. And you can actually quick charge this one. I'll talk about this later. Now, of course, it is more difficult to learn how to ride an electric unicycle, but it is also more rewarding. And with your scooter, you always need to get off from it, you need to leave it somewhere. And with this guy, I mean, if it's safe, you could just ride inside, push it around, and you have your hands free. So once you get your packages, you don't need anywhere to store them. You can just grab them into your hands and go. It's really a wheel perfect for those small tasks. If you just need to get around the block, grab something small, don't get a sweat on, and most importantly, you don't need to lock this thing anywhere. You just take it with you. It's a bit like a folding bicycle, but you only need to fold the pedals, or you can just push it around with the use of the trolley handle. It even works up a slope and down a slope. Or you can easily carry it down a set of stairs because it weighs pretty much as a usual city bike. Now, I'm not talking about like a lightweight Brompton or something, but 14.6 kilos, it really ain't that much. And you don't need to lube the chain, of course. Hate lubing a chain. Now, the opinion varies in terms of this being a good starter wheel. Some say you need a bigger wheel, some say this is right. For me personally, I do like this, and with the bigger wheels, you can't do this. I mean, yeah, it's a bit tougher to push around a heavier cart, but I mean, it's kind of cool, isn't it? But since I already did do a review on the 14D, go check out that video if you want to find out more about like the form factor of this wheel, how it behaves. But don't go watching this other video now. Watch this one till the end first, because that's what YouTube cares about, and then watch the other one. Because just trust me, bro, or sis. In today's video, I will tell you about 8 things that have improved on the 14D Pro compared to the 14D, and 8 things that didn't improve that I would have liked to be improved, if that makes sense. So yeah, let's just get into it. So the first thing that has improved on the 14D Pro is that we finally get a smart BMS. What that means is that you can check the voltages of the individual cell sets in the wheel, so you can make sure that the wheel is in okay electronical shape and the battery pack is healthy. Additionally, there's even temperature sensors on the battery. I believe even a temperature sensor on the motor? Yeah, temperature sensor. A while ago, even very expensive Librakim didn't have that. And now the almost cheapest KingSong wheel has a smart BMS, all the temperature sensors, and also a UL certification. Nice. The second improvement comes in the charging department. Now the stock charger is still the same, 3 to 4 hours for a full charge. But now, with the GX16-3 port here, we can actually fast charge it up to 5 amps. So under an hour for a full charge. Perfect for going to visit another city, charge while you eat, because this is just so inconspicuous, and then keep on riding. The third improvement that we got is a all new board, and essentially what that means is that all of your functions from the big wheels like the S19, F18, etc. are mostly also available in the 14D Pro as well. So you have acceleration assist, you have Apple Find My, I believe I made this a separate feature, but oh well, and some other nice goodies, and I guess a more stable main board to top it all off. Oh, no. There is actually a lot more to this, because this board has more powerful upgraded MOSFETs, which means that there's a lot more power reserve on this wheel compared to the 14D. This thing, well, it just flies, and it can do very steep inclines. So even for heavier riders, speaking of power, I can also recommend this wheel. Awesome. The pedals have been also improved. They are much bigger now, they're much wider, they have those milled-in studs. I don't like them as much as MTB studs, but mostly they do the job well. They stay in place nicely, and yeah, that's a nice improvement right there over the 14D. They did also update the side pads, but they updated them in a way that is absolutely horrifying. I have put just furniture tape onto it, and this is much better than the stock pads. The stock pads just make your calves cry. They're literally terrible, in my opinion. So I did ride with the stock pads for a bit, but exactly this area here, this one, it was digging into my calf so much. It was actually terrible. Like, without them, it's much better. And the downside of the design still is that you need to take off the pads to unscrew the side pieces, and the side pads are just glued with glue instead of, you know, some sort of method that could be used a couple of times instead of like re-gluing it every time you want to take the wheel apart. We also get Apple Find My now, so you can add it to your list of Apple devices and track it wherever you want to go, which is super awesome if you're an iPhone user, but not useful at all if you're an Android user. But I guess I welcome the addition for all of the Tim Cook people. Man, I need to ditch my iPhone. I want an Android, but I got this because it makes a good video. But yeah, it has Apple Find My. We also get a display now, which is super bright, shows you the speed or the battery if you're stationary. It also shows you how the battery is sort of charging when the wheel is plugged in. Super nice to have this addition, but honestly, the execution looks like a bit of a, you know, afterthought. Just make a hole in the wheel and then put a display into it. I hope it's like 100% water resistant. The wheel should be, but it just doesn't feel that premium. I'm super happy it's here though. It's nice to see it in broad daylight. I would probably like to have some sort of dark cover over it so you don't see like all of the diodes. And in the night, if you just push this thing around and you want to have the lights off, this thing is like hyper bright. So slightly annoying, but just a minor inconvenience. Would be cool though to have some sort of brightness setting for this thing. But yeah, a notable upgrade on the Pro. Because before we didn't have any display at all, only the side LEDs, which are still here on the 14D Pro. And the last upgrade that I've listed in my notes is stickers. Well, this thing is just packed with stickers now, I guess to distinguish it from the non-Pro. I don't really like them so much. Like, maybe the lines here are fine, but do I need such a huge KingSong logo? I don't know. It feels like one of those t-shirts that has just a too big logo. So, meh. Alright, but what are the things that did not change that I would have liked to be changed or improved? Well, first up, it's got to be the lights. So the KingSong 14D has those lights that work sort of both ways. You can have it this way or this way, and based on how you're balancing, which way you're riding, it will become a red light or a white light. It's not angle adjustable, so if you tilt the EUC up, it will blind others. So you need to sort of ride like this with the EUC down, or in a hard mode in the night. And those lights are just like not as bright if you compare it to like the modern NOSFETs, Libracam wheels. So yeah, the lighting department, front, back, definitely could be better. I do like the RGB still though. They move when you're riding, and they also show you the battery level when stationary. Huh? KingSong always loved LEDs. Another thing that I miss on this wheel is a kickstand. Most of the small Bigode wheels now do come with kickstands, but this thing you need to either lean against the wall or just put it down like a Roomba. So yeah, it would be nice to just have something where you could just lean the wheel back and have it stand. Like it sorta does now, but it's not that sturdy. And the speed didn't improve either. If you look at the display here, I can actually technically select 35 kilometers an hour here. Let's see, boom. Here, boom. But it doesn't actually allow me to keep it. So if I go back and then I go into the speed setting once again, it's back to 30. So it's not really faster, but it's also not slow either. And with cities getting more and more strict about speed limitations, it might be actually a good thing that, no officer, this wheel doesn't free spin 250 kilometers an hour. It's just a cute, quaint commuter. Please leave me alone. I lost all my other wheels. I just have one left. I am here to do no harm. Let me go. Come on. Like, what the hell are you doing? Like, you should be doing something else. Like, I'm just riding my wheel here. Okay, I got carried away. One of my biggest gripes with most of the older wheels which have been improved by manufacturers is that they don't come with a robust axle. They don't come with a hollow motor or a big steel axle, and this is the same thing. If you would look inside here, there's just like a thin shaft, and as we all know, we prefer thick, girthy shafts because they're just more sturdy. So you don't jump with this wheel, and I guess the lifespan of such a cast iron axle, because it is sadly cast iron, would be around, I guess, 10,000 kilometers, depending on how you ride, what's your weight, etc. I mean, we all know that this is a part that needs upgrading, and we all know that people are just annoyed by those axles. I don't know why KingSong didn't change them, but here we are. The trolley handle has not been upgraded either. Now, don't get me wrong, I love this trolley handle, and I love the design that you can just like pull on it, and then the lift switch engages, so you can lift up the wheel without spinning the motor. The thing is though that those things can break because they're mounted just by some metal clips on the inside, which are screwed in by Phillips head screws, and the whole shell is made out of plastic. So over time the handles might break. I think they could have improved the design just to make it maybe a bit more sturdy. With that said, I gotta still give credit to KingSong because this Samsonite sort of inspired, I guess, design with the handle going also across is awesome to hold, well, with your right hand, and yeah, very practical to just move the wheel around. Just make sure that you come to a complete stop before picking up the wheel. And another thing that I really don't like on this wheel, and NOSFET have been amazing at fixing this issue, is the valve axis. Like, it's very difficult to put anything here. It's even hard to unscrew this valve cap. It's a tube tire, and that is fine, but just to pump it up is a bit of a headache. So if they would make it tubeless, or change the tire or do something about this valve, would be awesome, because this is just a nightmare to put air into. Just get a extender and your problem is pretty much mostly solved. But yeah, just quality of life things. Another thing that didn't change is that this wheel is mostly made out of plastic. Now, it is nice for weight, and of course the parts are just a bit cheaper to replace, but it does sound like plastic a little bit. However, like those wheels, especially from the inside, if you look at the area here, here's like an L hanger, a metal piece that goes into the wheel and then is screwed onto the shell of the wheel. Those can break. There can be also some other cracks from the inside if you crash on a wheel, and crashes on a electric unicycle are sadly very probable. So yeah, nice that it's cheap to replace, but those can crack, they can deform. You just need to make sure, like every once in a while, especially if you crash, open it up and make sure that the wheel is still, like, doesn't have any cracks from the inside, because this also compromises the water resistance. The newest wheels come with a design that is mostly based on a magnesium shell. Even those at KingSong, like the F18, and I think this design would be very beneficial to this wheel, or at least have some sort of metal bracket around the L hanger in order to make this area a bit more safe and durable. And the last thing is a con. Well, depending on the way you look at it, the charger is still, what, 2 amps, so it's not a fast charger. Well, it is a faster charger compared to scooters, definitely at this price point. But yeah, I would like to have something 3-4 amps, especially that the wheel now can take 5 amps, to make this feel really like a portable wheel you can take on to some longer adventures as well when you go to a different city, or even have the charger built into the wheel. But still, this has no fan, it's very quiet, and you can set up in the wheel when it stops charging. So for example, 90% or 95% battery. So yeah, just a con, depending on the way you look at it. Alright, so these were the, almost 16 things that I wanted to mention in this video. I have always been a big fan of the 14D line. I always liked those wheels. I had like 5 of those basically, because usually I buy them, I ride them, and then I give it to a friend of mine and then give it for free for them to keep or just borrow it for a long time, and then it just gets passed around different new riders. It's a great starter wheel, and there is no better way to peer pressure someone into starting to ride a electric unicycle than to just give them one basically, or at least borrow them one. So that's why I had so many. I just gave them away or sold them for cheap so my friends could ride a wheel. Yeah. Anyway, with this one, it's a bit different actually, because now we have the Nosfit Aero, we have a bunch of new performance wheels that are getting lighter, and I found myself not using this wheel all that much, just because I know it's 6 kilos heavier, the Nosfit Aero, but I just use it more often, even though it's heavier, because it has more performance, a lot more range, and it also feels a lot more sturdy. So occasionally I still keep using this wheel if I need the absolute smallest thing ever, but at the same time, sometimes at this point I just take my skateboard because, you know, it's even lighter than that. So I still find that this wheel has a purpose in the market. It's a micro-mobility device. It's awesome to take into, you know, a shopping mall, and if you know that there will be like very little space somewhere, then you just take this wheel, and if you want to go to a train, you can basically fit it in a like overhead compartment. In a car, it fits without any issues, like behind the driver's seat or behind the passenger seat. So the form factor definitely makes sense, and you know, there's space for wheels like this on the market. But I just found myself to use it less and less because I just make reels as well. I go make groceries with either my bike or just walk there. It's walking distance for me, so I'm in a very favorable position right there. So I don't really use this wheel all that much as I thought I would. But for a certain use case, like this wheel is still very awesome. You gotta be careful with it. You don't push it downstairs. You don't make tricks with it, except for flat ground tricks. Yeah, I'm happy that KingSong keeps making it, but really, it's about time to make something new, KingSong. It's about time to make like a nice upgrade. Might be more expensive then, because this is just 600 euro, and for a wheel, I think that's a very, very decent price. So yeah, a lot of information. Take from it what you want to take from it. And if you're still here, leave a like on the video, subscribe to see more content like this. I'll see you in the next video. See you soon. Oh, and please let me know what you think about this video. I've come back to my old camera to lower resolution, and it's been really fun to make a video like that again. So let me know what you think. No lavalier mic, just a shotgun mic here. Just a simple camera. Maybe simplicity is king. Let me know.